the water that you use, do you have an aquifer or anything here? Or
Idaho is really blessed with water. We are on the community water source here, which means there's a pond up there on the hill and they piped it down here to the valley. And that is our city water. So it's just groundwater, or, you know, and we're very lucky that it is also a pH of 8, because that makes our boiler and everything really happy, because the boiler is all metal. If you pump acidic water into it, on a normal facility you would have to treat that water before putting it into the boiler to create the steam, and we would have issues with that because we don't want to put anything in the water. Almost every boiler in a hospital anywhere is chemically treated heavily every year to keep the longevity of that metal. And we're just very fortunate here that we start out with a basic water and very soft water. So it's also a great thing about this site. So any other questions?
And how long does it take for the steam to get through?
Okay, so 1 hour for it to pass through, and then after the passover, an additional 4 hours.
Oh, wow.
That will vary with the quality of chips we're getting. If they're coming from these trees with the big trunk over here and have a lot of woody substance to them, I can watch in here, and if that's why I keep it drained off so you can see the little bubbles coming up of oil. And if they're really not coming up and we're not gaining much oil, I'll be like, well, cut and let's get some of those ones that are sitting on the floor into the cooker and cooking. Okay. We're using energy in the form of propane, and we're all here for, you know, we hours, 12 hours a day, working towards a quota. So we would really like that to be hit as soon as possible. So, the 24-hour shifts are not really that fun.
When you said y'all do like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, how many people do you have? Like, is it the same people doing 1, 2, 3?
It's the same people, yeah.
So if you want to come work on, we need to like really be in shape, like jogging.
Well, it's labor intensive. I was gonna say, when we do this whole seed to seal thing, if you do come for winter harvest, we take it down a notch.
I was going to ask, slow and down daytime.
Oh yeah, because we're explaining everything. Everyone's got to get in there and take their pictures, and we'll do like 1 cook in a whole day instead of 4 cooks by lunch.
Wow. So you're kind of like, oh gosh.
No, it's actually really fun, because we slow down. We watch you stomp chips instead of stomping them ourselves. I mean,
so do you have an extra crew though, that comes in
at night?
Staff that helps to do the 1, 2, 3.
Right, and sometimes the St. Mary's crew comes up here and helps us, and sometimes we go down there and help them. So that's nice to have 2 farms so close together, and yeah, the human interest part during harvest really keeps us going.
How long does it take to stomp, and when do you know to stop?
Well, it's all by feeling. You stomp around and you can feel at first it's like you're walking in dry sand, and by the end it's kind of like wet sand. It's still compacted, but you can really feel it. And with 2 of us, the bucket can't even load it as fast because we really have to run around and stomp it as much as possible. We've learned that not only for production is that good, but it is good on our end, because if the last jokers didn't, like the night crew didn't stomp it well enough, and we go to pull that wine cork out in the morning, it's not really a wine cork, it falls apart everywhere. And that's an equivalent of 4 hours of shoveling after that. You gotta be down in here, it's hot, and you're shoveling it into a garbage can, and then someone's pulling it up with a rope. I mean, it's really like, you've taken an efficient process and just...
And it crumbles because of why it wasn't stomped enough?
Because it wasn't stomped well enough. Yeah, you need to pack it, and it's not very fun after, you know, a few months of doing it, but you know to keep doing it, or else on the other end, you can... This is a lot easier than shoveling.
You can use a blower?
Well, no, and you're down inside of this thing, so just like blow it around. We've had actually people try to invent like giant vacuums and stuff and sell them to us, but we really, when it comes to local people, when it comes down to it, a snow shovel and a bucket are how you get it done. And luckily, everyone who works here now has been through that once and knows that they do not want to do that. Especially, I mean, during harvest, it would be pretty embarrassing.
How many of you stomp?
Usually 2, and then it's really nice as I can run upstairs sometimes and do it. We have just revamped our automated system to where it used to be my job to be over here feeling the kettle and feeling this and adjusting it with this big steam valve here, climbing underneath there, draining off any condensate, and I was down here full time just pacing around between the cookers and the boiler, checking the boiler to make sure it's doing its job well. And I mean, it was full time, never sitting down, walking around. It's really loud down here, and crawling underneath there, you know, you burn yourself on the daily. Luckily, this summer, this past winter, some computer programmers were here the entire time revamping the automated system and asking me my observations and what I would do if this happened, what if I do if this happened, and converting everything I know into this beautiful brain right here. So this is now our brain, and we have a completely automated system where I can get on the computer, download the recipe, press go, and it's doing its own thing. And it has all sorts of sensors to tell if it's doing it right. They have a giant TV monitor upstairs, so I can also be like looking at it and manually override if necessary.
So does Gary have something on his phone that he could watch the distillation process from?
Yeah, yeah, I could get it on my phone too with the password. But.
So what's the dynamic like when Gary comes? And does he just take over your job, or like, what does that look like?
No, he does not. He likes to be with the field crew.
Okay.
He likes to work out in the field and with the tractors and the semi-trucks. And most of the time, by the time they make it in here, he is talking to the distributors, which saves me talking to the distributors, and I can go and do my job. Yeah. This whole thing is an evolution. It is, you know, it started 4,000 years ago in Egypt, you know. They've been distilling for a very long time. This is really, really good, but is there a perfect? You know, there's 100 different designs on even the condensers. There's a lot of room, and there's a lot of evolution going on here all the time. We're us putting it into practice, discover things and alter them a bit, and he respects that because we're on site all day. So he has come down and been like, why are you doing this, why are you doing that, but he's never been like, don't do this, don't do that.
Yeah, I was just curious what the dynamic was like, because I mean, I can't imagine what it must be like, you know, to have them.
When we were here at Winter Harvest, you mentioned that, or someone mentioned that Gary is like, he just never turns off.
No.
And so it's exhausting to have him here because he just goes.
Yeah, he is, he's a motivator.
Yeah.
That's for sure, and he does seem to have some boundless source of energy. Yeah, so.
It's neat to hear too that the process is always a work in progress for you, because I feel like our business is like that too. It's always evolving from trial and error.
Right.
You know?
And we just hired an on-site technician, and we're putting a lot of science into exactly when we harvest the trees and doing a lot more testing and sampling just to figure out exactly when we can start harvesting at the right level of constituents, and hopefully then making it far more efficient, being able to hit our quotas without having a 24-hour shift. Mm-hmm. We all, you know, work like normal people.
Yeah. So like dogs.
Yeah, right.
No kidding.
So when this is all done, I collect it into a stainless steel little milk jug and then move it into, at that time I also take a sample that goes upstairs and is tested immediately in the gas chronograph machine by our laboratory technician, Jesse.
You have a lab here?
Yeah, just right upstairs. So I just have to walk upstairs with the bottle. He tests it, the results come back, and then it comes into this room and can go through the next process. So you guys can all...
For this much, how much olive wood?
It varies an immense amount per tree. I've seen anywhere from 5 kilos to 40. And that all depends on what trees we're putting into this cooker.
It's balsam fir and black spruce.
Blue spruce. Black spruce is at the Northern Lights.
Oh, sorry.
No.